Yeah, when you close your eyes and think about mutual fund, everyone can think only one. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Please let the scheme your documents carefully before you invest. Some random guy tells this in every mutual fund ad. Okay? And he tells in a fast manner so that we don't understand. Okay? So we all perceive that this guy is telling in this fast manner that we don't understand because mutual funds are very risky. That is why you don't want us to understand this. Correct? That's how we think. And we think mutual funds are highly risky. It will eat up our money. No, my dear friends. Not all mutual funds are risky. Just because a random guy talks something in a very fast manner doesn't make all mutual funds risky. It is a disclaimer which is mandated by SEBI. I mean, for those who don't know what is a SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. It is a governing body. Yeah. That is why that guy is reading it very fast, not because that you shouldn't understand. Okay, yeah. So that makes it highly risky. I mean, that makes it, yeah. Many funds, there are many funds which are not at all risky. Means the funds will not eat up your money or they don't generate negative returns. If you invest 1,000 rupees, your 1,000 rupees will not become 900 rupees. Don't worry, okay? But you might end up getting a lesser return. That might always happen. But there are many funds which are not at all risky. Okay, you can close your eyes and just invest, and your capital will remain the same. It will not decrease. But there are at the same time there are funds which are highly risky too, where your capital might depreciate or come down. Yeah, there are things. But don't just because of that think all mutual funds are risky. So yeah, what are the types of mutual funds which are available in the market? So I've categorized into 6 types so that it makes this easy to understand. Yeah, first type of mutual funds available are equity mutual funds. So I'll just read out all 6 categories and we'll be seeing every category individually. Okay, so don't worry. Second type are debt mutual funds. I know people, I hope people know what is the debt and the equity. Equity is nothing but an ownership stake in a company, and debt is a non-ownership stake or it is a loan, basically a loan to the company. Yeah, so a business. Okay. Next is balanced or hybrid mutual funds. Hybrid mutual funds is a combination, as the name itself tells, it's a combination of equity and debt. Okay. And next is your index funds. I mean, I hope everyone knows an index. Index is an category average. Basically, index means a category average. Basically, okay. I mean, as of now, you know this much. When we see everything individually, I'll explain you more. Yeah. So next category are specialty funds or specialty funds, or you might also call it a sectoral funds. Okay. So those are the, I mean, those are the other types of funds. The last ones are, I mean, which are very recent. I mean, mutual funds. I mean, mutual funds are only like existing for last 2 decades. I mean, from 19th century. But yeah, arbitrage funds are very recent breakthroughs where it is completely very low in risk. Okay, and I'll be telling you in detail about how arbitrage funds make their money and how they become one of the most lowest risk funds. Okay, so these are the basically 6 type of mutual funds. Coming to equity mutual funds, let's see one by one. Okay, so equity mutual funds are funds where the scheme information document basically tells you that the fund manager is going to, whatever money is collecting from you, this guy is going to invest that money only in equity shares of various companies. Okay, not in any other security or not in any other investment opportunity. Okay, so this equity mutual fund is again basically classified into 4. First category is blue chip funds or large cap funds. So blue chip funds, I mean, we saw what is a blue chip earlier. Those are the most established ones, or the, you can call maybe like top 100 companies in India. So they have a capitalization. I mean, I hope you know what is the capitalization or market capitalization is. It is your stock price multiplied by number of shares outstanding in the market. So yeah, the capitalization will be somewhere more than 10 billion USD, or in rupees economical 75,000 crores. So if your company has a market cap more than 75,000 crores, it basically like top 100 companies in India would be the blue chip companies. Or this fund manager is going to invest your money only in this 100 company. Okay, not in any other next level company. Okay, that is a blue chip fund or large cap fund. Mid cap funds. Mid cap funds is not those 100 companies, but second category of companies whose market cap is somewhere between 2 billion USD and 10 billion USD. So they are the mid cap funds. I mean, they are not blue chip, but they have a high potential growth. They are growing right now. Okay. So this I mean, when compared to blue chip funds, mid cap funds are a little more of high risk, but at the same time, more the risk, more the reward. Okay. Next are small cap funds. Obviously, small cap funds are the funds which invest in companies which have a market cap less than $2 billion. That is a small cap fund. It is the high potential growth companies. These companies are high potential growth. I mean, over next 10 years, they might even become like generate returns of 20 percentage, 25%. They have that much potential. But at the same time, the company might not exist in next 10 years. Possibilities are there. So small cap funds are the funds which are even more riskier than mid cap funds, but has a high potential return. So I mean, let's say then comes your multi-cap funds. Multi-cap funds doesn't have any such restrictions. It will invest only in equity funds, but in all three category of, I mean, all the above three categories. It'll be a mix of all three. Those are your multi-cap funds. When it comes to average returns from each and every fund, see, equity mutual funds are attractive only if you invest in long term. And long term is a period not more than 5 years, like your investment managers tell. It is basically a period, according to me, it's a period more than 10 years. Okay, equity mutual funds are attractive only for a period more than 10 years, not less than 10 years. So if you want to go for an equity mutual fund, at least consider time horizon between 7.5 years to 10 years to redeem, take back your money from the equity mutual funds. So these funds have potential returns of between 15 percentage to 25 percentage at the maximum. So it differs from category to category. Okay, so these are the equity mutual funds. Yeah, and at the same time, there is a very good possibility at the time of your redemption, your funds might go negative. Whatever, let's say you have invested 1 lakh, there is a very good possibility your 1 lakh might have become 80,000. Okay, so yeah, there are chances, but still, yeah, equity mutual funds are the best in class but when it comes to returns. Okay, yeah, so these are the four types of equity mutual funds which various companies offer. Next, coming to debt mutual funds. So debt mutual funds offers a wide variety. Okay, so first one is your liquid mutual funds. I mean, when liquidity, basically, liquidity means basically is availability of money whenever you want. Okay, that is basically your liquidity. And bank FDs are the best. It gives you so much liquidity whenever you want. Just in a click, you can close an FD, get it credited to your account, and swish. You can spend it anywhere you want. Okay, so when you consider equity mutual funds, they are not that much liquid. I mean, you can at any point of time sell your equity mutual funds and get the money credited to your bank account in T plus 2 days. I mean, transaction day. When you put a sell order today, and in 2 days the equity mutual funds, whatever the money is there, the equity mutual fund will get credited to your bank account. That is fine. I'm not talking about that kind of liquidity. I'm talking about liquidity where your funds might not go, I mean, might not generate a negative return. Okay, see, I invest in an equity mutual fund today. Okay, after 2 months, I have an urgent requirement of money. Okay, now I decide to sell my equity mutual fund. That would be a very, very poor decision because in 2 months, whatever I invested might be generating a negative return. The price of the unit might have come down when compared to whatever when the day when I invested. At that point of a time, if I sell, I've been getting a money less than what I invested, and that is called a liquidity problem because I'm not getting at least what I invested. It is less than that. So equity mutual fund does not offer you that liquidity. You cannot take it whenever you want. You have to wait for the market to correct and rise, and you have to find the right time to take back your funds. Whereas debt mutual funds and specifically liquid mutual funds offer you so much liquidity. Okay, you can invest today, take out your funds tomorrow, or maybe after a week. I mean, yeah, minimum time was on like 7 days. Okay, normally 7 days is the time. So you can invest today. After 7 days, you can take. There are some funds which even you can deposit today and take back tomorrow. There are funds like that. Yeah. So normally it is 7 days of minimum investment. So these liquid funds offers you so much liquidity, and the best thing about liquid funds is it always beats your savings bank interest, which is 3.5 to 4 percentage. And these liquid funds offer you somewhere around 4.5 to in 4.25 to 5 to 6 percentage. They offer some liquid funds offer in 5.5 percentage or 6 percentage. So this is one of the great advantage of liquid mutual funds, where basically the fund manager invests the money which he collects for liquid mutual funds normally in short term bonds of government, of companies and others. Basically that is where the money goes from a liquid fund. Next is a short duration fund, which is a fund which invests in bonds which have a maturity period, or I mean redemption period of, let's say, 2 to 3 years. Okay, so I mean, it offers a return a little more than your liquid funds because the time horizon is more. So it offers a little more return, but at the same time, it offers you a fixed return in next 2 years. Okay. The next are medium duration funds, which invest your money in bonds which are between, like, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Okay. See, since the fund manager invests your money in bonds which have a redemption period of 3 to 5 years, it doesn't mean you cannot buy. I mean, you cannot sell your mutual fund till that point of time. Okay, that doesn't mean that. You can buy a medium duration fund at any time you want. You can sell the medium duration fund at any time you want. There is no restriction on that. Only the restriction or the redemption period is for the fund manager, not for you. But depending upon the duration of investment which the fund manager makes, the interest might increase or decrease. So the returns differs for short duration funds to medium duration funds. Okay, and long duration funds. These are funds which invest in bonds which are from, I mean, which has a maturity period of 7 to 10 years. It's a long duration fund. Okay, so yeah, similarly this also offers a different, I mean, seven, like, let's say, see that the difference is short duration fund, the fund manager invests today, and in next 3 years the fund, I mean, he sells off the fund. Okay, the company buys it back. Again, he invests in another fund, another bond. The interest rate might have come down from the period back in 2 years to today. So the fund starts generating a return less than what he got before. But in a long duration fund, if the fund is for 7 to 10 years, whatever the interest rate which was agreed 7 years back will be given till the end of the fund. So that makes long duration fund a little more attractive fund when it comes in point of return perspective. Okay, yeah. So talking, yeah, and before seeing gilt funds and dynamic funds, I'll not tell you that debt mutual funds are not completely risky. There is risk. Definitely there is risk. No one can tell you there is no risk in whatever the above funds we saw, liquid or short or medium or long duration. There is risk. So what are the risks which is there, which exist in a debt mutual fund? There are two risks. One is your interest rate risk and other is your credit risk. So what is an interest rate risk and what is a credit risk? To tell it in simple way, interest rate risk means the risk that the market interest rate might fall or increase. How does it affect my bond? Because I've already bought it. So, I mean, how does the market interest rate affect my bonds return? Yes, it definitely affects your bonds price. How? See, I bought a bond which generates me 8% return 1 year back. Okay, I'm a fund manager. Today, the interest generated by similar kind of bond is not 8%, let's say less than 8%. What happens? My bonds price or my bonds demand will increase in the market because same category of bond minus, but it offers a more interest than the market interest rate. So the price of the bond will increase. So if I sell it today, my bond, if it's 1,000 rupees, I can sell it for a premium of 1,200 rupees. I mean, I'm a fund manager, I'm talking. Okay. Since the market interest rate has reduced, my bonds price has increased. Fine. What happens the other way? What happens if the other thing happens? Means interest rates increase, market interest rates for similar category of bonds. Mine offers 8%. In market, now similar category of bonds offer 9%. My bonds price will decrease. I cannot sell my bond anymore for 1000 rupees. I can sell it only for 900 rupees. So my returns get affected. This is your interest rate risk. Next, credit risk. Credit risk is the risk you give your money, you lend your money, or you buy a bond from a customer who doesn't have enough credit worthiness. Credit risk is the risk that the borrower might not give your money back. That is called credit risk. So that is credit risk everywhere. Okay, and similarly in debt mutual funds also there is credit risk where there is something called as credit rating. Okay, what happens is there are companies which rate your credit worthiness, and certain debt mutual funds which are called as aggressive debt mutual funds, they invest in borrowers whose credit worthiness is low. Means normally the credit worthiness is given like A plus or A minus, AA plus. The credit rating is offered by credit rating agencies and this kind of ranks. This is a ranking system which exists. Okay, so for every level your company comes down, what happens is your interest rate will be higher. So being a mutual fund manager, if I lend my money to a company which has a low credit worthiness, which has been rated, let's say triple A minus, okay, or double A, I would normally, if I lend my money for 10%, I would lend the guy who has a less credit worthiness for 12%, thereby making 2% extra money, which is also called as credit premium, credit risk premium, they call it. Okay, so that happens. So I earn a more return. So this mutual funds voluntarily take the risk so that they can earn a little higher return, and this happens in debt mutual funds. And because of these two risks, debt mutual funds definitely have risk, but not as much as equity mutual funds. So while seeing the debt mutual funds SID, scheme information document, you should always be thorough of what rated bonds they have invested in, what companies they have lent their money to, because that will that will show you the credit risk. Okay, so yeah, debt mutual funds definitely has risk, but not up to the. There are certain debt mutual funds which are called as conservative debt mutual funds, which have very less risk. Means these mutual funds generally generate a less return, let's say 7%, 6% only, equal to FD. But they invest only in companies which have been rated AAA plus or AAA. They don't go below that. Okay, they maintain a standard. So there are conservative mutual funds. So if you are a conservative investor, risk averse investor, you can very well go to these kinds of funds, conservative funds, where you can ensure that your fund manager has given your money in a company which is capable of repaying your money back. Okay, so you can choose that way. So debt funds are both risky, at the same time there are very less risk debt mutual funds too. And coming to next category, gilt funds. Okay, these are the mutual funds which have the lowest risk, the lowest of all. Why? Because gilt funds invest only in government securities. Not only in government securities, a majority of their portfolio will go only in government securities. Let's say 95-96% of their money will be invested in Government of India bonds, RBI bonds, or any public sector company for which the government has given guarantee. So only in that kind of securities they'll invest, gilt funds. So your money is very, very safe. Okay, until any PSU, public sector company, fails to repay or something happens. Gilt funds are the most safest. Okay, because it is invested only with the government companies, government bonds, and all government stuff. Majority 95 to 96% they'll invest only in that. Maybe balance 5% they might put in corporate bonds or any other allowed investment opportunities. So those are gilt funds. What is a dynamic bond fund? The last category, which has been introduced very recently. Let's say like 5 years back, it has been introduced. This dynamic bond funds invest in all the above category of bonds. They mix their portfolio. Some might be a liquid fund, some might be a liquid investment, some might be short duration, medium duration, long duration, government securities also. These dynamic bond funds invest in all kind of funds, and they also do something. They have a high portfolio turnover. Okay, so this portfolio turnover means how frequently they change their investments or how frequently they change their holdings. Okay, so yeah, Shivani has asked. Okay, fine. Yeah, I am getting all the queries. So let me finish all the slides, and I'll give you all your address all your queries in one shot. Okay. Sorry, please don't mind. Yeah. Dynamic bond funds, what they do is they normally invest all the above category, and they frequently change their holdings so that at the right time your money is lying at the right place. This is called a dynamic bond fund, which invests in all the above category. So with this we come to the end of debt mutual funds.